DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. You see all the stuff in the back. My girl got to take the stuff back to the store. But anyway, I just came from a restaurant. And the whole experience, the reason I'm talking about it, not because the experience was terrible and not because the experience was amazing. It's because the experience was average. I mean, it was as average as it gets. We get there, right? First of all, my girl's responsible for this situation because she's the one that recommended we go to this place. We sit down and I look at the menu and the waitress had already come to the table twice asking if we was ready because we was taking time. And I told my girl, I don't like nothing on this menu. I don't like this place. Let's go somewhere else. So then we called 2 other places because I'm recording this on a Sunday afternoon. And I don't know how they do it wherever you live, but in South Florida, Sunday brunch is a big thing. So it's very busy at a lot of places for brunch. So we called 2 other places we was thinking about going. They weren't available. So we was basically stuck with this bum-ass restaurant that I knew I didn't like nothing on the menu. So we ordered from there. I found something that was good enough, and the food was very, very average. It was very average food. I mean, there was nothing remarkable about it. And we're not coming back to this restaurant ever again. And again, not because it was terrible. Average food, the waitress, average. The cleanliness of the place, average. And this is one of those places where it's kind of like more old school where they give you your food and then they just drop the check at the table and then everybody goes to the front counter to pay, right? So I go to the front counter to pay. And the woman at the counter, I give her the check. She was like, first of all, she was standing there. It was very quiet when I got there. Her and another person was just standing at the counter like dazed. They look like mannequins. They was just standing there staring out into space. So I walked up. She takes my check. She was like, you know how they ask you, how was everything? She didn't really care. You know how people ask you that? Like, everybody ever ask you like how you're doing or how was everything? And they don't really care what the answer is, but they got to say it. So that's the way she said it. She's like, how was everything? And I was like, it was good enough. Now, if you own a business and one of your customers says that their experience with your business was good enough, you should be asking, how could it be better? What could we do to step our game up? How can we improve what we got going on? But she didn't ask that because she's not an owner of the business. She's a fucking, $10 an hour employee, whatever they pay her to stand at that counter. So I said good enough. She didn't respond at all to that comment. She scanned my little check. She told me the amount. I gave her my card. She took that. No, actually, before I even gave her the card, because I pulled out my money clip and I'm going through my cards trying to find the card that I'm going to give her. And she's standing there like this with her hand out, just waiting for me to give her the card. Not in a rude way, but just kind of, it's one of those little things that if you own a business or you even think about these kind of things that I'm talking about, you're like, yo, don't do that to a customer. It's almost like, I don't even know how to explain it, but any of you who works in hospitality, you understand what I'm saying. I hand her the card, she scans the card, whatever, I pay, and she says, do you want a copy of your receipt? I said, yes. So she gets the receipt that I need to sign, right? She hands me that and she hands me a pen. So I'm signing the receipt and I'm looking at the total because I'm trying to figure out how much I'm gonna give a tip. And I'm thinking, do I got enough cash that I can just leave the tip in cash or should I put it on the card? So the 2 seconds that it taught me to think about that, I guess was a little bit too long for her to wait for me. She was holding my receipt in her hand, right? And I'm holding the receipt that I got to sign in my hands because I'm signing it and writing down the total amount. So I guess, again, maybe it was too long for her to wait. And it wasn't nobody there. She didn't have nothing else to do. So she takes my receipt and she just puts it down on the counter in front of me because I guess she got tired of holding it. And then she turned her back and went back to doing what she was doing. Again, she didn't do it in a rude way. She didn't do it in a mean way. She didn't have no kind of attitude or nothing. She didn't have any attitude. She was basically could have been a robot. You know how you go to, any of the Whole Foods got them now, Walmart, where they got the self-checkout counters where you only had to deal with a person, you just deal with a computer. That's basically how she was. Now, why am I telling you all this? Then I went to the bathroom. The bathroom was average too. It wasn't very clean. Why am I telling you all this? I've talked about this plenty of times. Anybody you listen to or follow who's in the motivational realm, they've talked about these things. Average does not cut it anymore, people. Average does not work. Average will cost you your career. Average will cost you your business. Average will cost you your job. Average will cost you everything that you got. Now, you cannot be average. Here's a couple reasons why you can't be average. Number one, you're going to have a ton of motherfucking competition because average is by definition where most people are at. All right, so amongst the masses is where the average is. All right. So if you're going to be average, that means you're going to have a whole bunch of competition, because that's where everybody's at. Everybody's right there in the middle, in the average space. Secondly, if anybody comes along and they're even a little bit above average, they're taking your spot, because they bringing more to the table than you're bringing to the table. We all know we're in a performance-based business. So if somebody can perform a little bit above average and you're average, why would we take you? But we won't. That's the trick question. Another reason why you can't be average is because you're gonna get squeezed out. The average, the middle group in everything eventually gets squeezed out. The people at the very bottom, I mean, if you look at the way the government runs, people at the very bottom, they get like welfare, and they get, if your family's poor and you're trying to go to college, you can get all these grants and all this stuff, that financial aid to go to school. And the people who got money, you get, you can do whatever you want because you got the money. You can do what you want to do when you got money. But if you're in the middle, you don't have enough to do what you really want to do, but you also ain't broke enough, you ain't fucked up enough for the government to help you out. So you in the most fucked up position, right? When you're average, because you can't do shit that you want to do, but you also ain't bad enough for anybody to give you a handout. So you basically are fucked when you're average. So average is the worst place to be. So if you're going to be average and you don't feel like doing no work, look, do it all the way and just be trash, be poor and be terrible. So at least you can get some welfare. You can get, an apartment under Section 8. You go to school with the financial aid. You're going to have to pay that shit back, but at least you could go and enjoy it for 4 years. If you're going to do it all the way. All right, but don't be in the middle. All right, being in the middle is the worst place to be, because they're getting squeezed out. Every single day, the average is getting squeezed out. So check yourself on that. Work on your game.